Before the first city, before the first fire, before the first human footprint pressed into the mud, something else was already here. It had been here for millions of years, and it had no intention of leaving. Imagine Earth 12,000 years ago. No roads, no cities, no lights in the dark. Just trees, endless trees, stretching across a continent that had never heard a human voice. The air was different, heavier, richer. The kind of air you could almost taste. It smelled like wet soil, like rotting wood, like something alive, just beneath the surface. This was the Pleistocene epoch, the age of ice, the age of giants. Massive creatures moved through these woods, creatures that have no name in any human language because no human was there to name them. But something was. Scientists have long debated what ruled this earth before us. They dig up bones. They study frozen soil. They piece together a picture of a world so strange, so violent, so alive, that it would terrify us if we ever truly understood it. This is that world, and this is the story of the creature that lived inside it. 10,000 years before Christ, most of North America was covered in ice. The northern half, gone. Buried under glaciers a mile thick, but the south was alive, and in that southern wilderness, in what we now call the American. Southeast, the forests were unlike anything alive today. Trees so tall they blocked the sky, rivers running black with tannins from decomposing leaves, swamps with no bottom. This was home to some of the largest animals that ever walked on land. The giant ground sloth, Megatherium, 20 feet long. Weighing 5 tons, it could tear a full-grown tree out of the earth the way you'd pull a weed from a garden. It didn't hunt. It didn't need to, but it commanded space. And anything that crossed its path learned quickly. Then there was the dire wolf, bigger than any wolf alive today, a pack hunter, intelligent, relentless, terrifying. Its teeth could crush bone like chalk. It ran in packs of 30, sometimes 40. When a dire wolf pack moved through the forest, everything else went still. But even the dire wolf had something it feared. They found the first bones in 1970, in a peat bog in Florida. The scientists who dug them up didn't speak for a long time afterward because what they found didn't match anything in the textbooks. The bones were enormous, not mammoth enormous, not ground sloth enormous. These were different. The structure was wrong. The proportions were wrong. The shape of the skull, completely unlike anything that had ever been formally catalogued. Dr. Alan Marsh, a paleoanthropologist working out of the University of Florida, described that first excavation simply. He said, and I quote, "We kept thinking we were misreading the data, because what we were looking at shouldn't have existed." The teeth told the most disturbing story. This creature did not eat only plants. It did not eat only meat. It ate both, in massive quantities. The wear patterns on the teeth suggested it could crack open bones, something few creatures of its size were built to do. And then there were the hands. The front limbs, calling them arms feels wrong, but they weren't paws either. The front limbs showed evidence of grip, real grip. The kind of grip that holds things, the kind of grip that uses things. Nobody said it out loud at first. The implication was too strange, too unsettling. But the evidence was building. Whatever this creature was, it was not simply a predator. It was not simply an animal moving on instinct. It was deliberate. 8 feet tall when standing upright. But it didn't prefer to stand upright. It moved low, close to the ground, like it was always watching something, always calculating. Its eyes, based on the orbital socket size, were adapted for low light. It was most active at dusk, at dawn, in that gray space between night and day when everything loses its edges. It was not fast, but it was patient. And in this world, patience was the most dangerous thing you could have. The bones found near the creature's remains told a quiet story. Dire. Wolf bones, ground sloth bones, even, and this is where the story gets darker, Early human ancestor bones, Homo erectus, one of our predecessors, a species that had crossed into North America tens of thousands of years earlier. They encountered this creature. We know that because we found their camp. The camp had been abandoned in a hurry, tools left behind, food left behind, everything just left, like something had come in the night and the people had run and never came back. Here is where the story reaches its darkest point. 12,000 years ago, something changed. The ice began to melt, the glaciers retreated, the climate shifted, and with it, the world this creature had known for millions of years began to disappear. The forests shrank, the rivers changed course. The animals the creature had hunted for generations, the mammoths, the ground sloths, the giant horses, they were dying, going extinct. One by one, and at the same time, humans were arriving. Not the fragile, frightened humans of ancient imagination. These people were survivors. They had crossed the land bridge from Asia. They had lived through temperatures that would kill modern humans in hours. They were tough, clever, and they were everywhere. For years, maybe decades, the two species occupied the same territory without direct confrontation. The creature watched. The humans hunted. Each stayed on their side of an invisible line. But lines don't last forever. We don't know exactly what happened next. What we know is this. The encounter left evidence. Deep claw marks on a rock face, a broken spear tip, and the bones of the creature, finally, with a single sharp fracture across the skull, caused by a stone tool. Somewhere in the darkness of 12,000 years ago, a human and this creature met face to face, and only one of them walked away. After that moment, the creature disappears from the fossil record. No more bones, no more signs, no more evidence of its passage through the world. It was gone. Whether it was hunted to extinction, whether the loss of its prey drove it to starvation, whether that single encounter with a human tribe was its last, we don't know. What we know is that it vanished, and the world that replaced it was smaller for the loss. The early humans who encountered this creature didn't forget it. We can see that in the cave art of that period. Strange, massive figures drawn in red and black across stone walls. Figures that don't match any animal we recognize. Figures with gripping hands and low bodies and eyes that stare out from the rock with unsettling intelligence. They were trying to tell someone something. They were saying, "We saw something here. We want you to know it was real." The humans moved on. They built shelters. They learned to farm. They grew into the civilizations we now call history. But in the oldest stories, in the myths of nearly every ancient culture on Earth, there are creatures. Dark ones. Intelligent ones. Creatures that lived in the forest before humans came. Creatures that resented the arrival of this new species. Creatures that watched from the shadows. Maybe those stories are just fear, or maybe they are memory. We think of ourselves as the first intelligent species to walk this earth. We think of history as something that began with us. But the bones in the ground tell a different story. They say, "You were not the first." They say, "Something was here before you, watching, patient, and old." And they ask a question that science has not yet fully answered. How many creatures like this one are still out there, buried in the mud, waiting to be found? The bones discovered in Florida remain some of the most debated specimens in North American paleontology. Some questions have no easy answers. If this story made you think, share it. History didn't begin with us.